Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy's YouTube channel. Let's crack UPSC CSE English. I hope all of you doing good and all of you are safe. So we are doing a crash course. We are doing a course on complete coverage of geography. So it is the first. Yesterday we have a session of understanding about the syllabus, how to study all these things. Yesterday we have discussed, right? So today we'll be discussing about one of the most basic topic, latitudes and longitudes. Yes, is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Okay, good. So we'll be discussing about latitudes and longitudes. Yes, some queries were raised. Yes, Shrishti, GC Leon cover ya in something other. No. We are not going by any book. We are going by a topic. I am going by topics. The topic is latitudes and longitudes. We'll be discussing about that. Definitely all the concepts. See, basically every textbook also tries to provide the concepts only. So that would not be a big deal. Okay. So this is a few lines about me. So myself, Venkatesh Emani, have more than 7 years of experience in teaching for civil services, and I love mentoring the students who are preparing for this exam. Then before we start etc, few just around 2 minutes about Unacademy platform, which is the largest learning platform available online for cracking UPSC CSE. So this is the largest learning platform available online for cracking UPSC CSE. Along with it, you also have for more than 30 competitive exams. Anyhow, most of you here are only meant for UPSC, right? So once you get the subscription, what are the advantages which you will get? What will you get? Why you have to join Unacademy? Because you will get daily live classes. You can chat with the educator, engage in the discussions, ask your doubts, all while the class is going on. The kind of discussions which you might have are quite, what do you say, much better, much more engagement will be much more higher. Initially, while taking online classes, I felt that it will not have much kind of positive impact. But later on, I was proved wrong. So I'm happy to be proven wrong here. So the live classes are quite engaging. Then the most advantage which you find here is you will understand the syllabus very well. Yesterday I told you about how the syllabus is more important. In the last session I have discussed about it. What is the importance of the syllabus? So all the courses will be structured in tune with the syllabus, which will help you have a complete preparation of the entire UPSC syllabus. Then once you have the classes and all, you will also have light tests and quizzes which will provide you a proper evaluation. This is the advantage. The proper evaluation will be provided which will help you in understanding where do you stand. Then you will get access to unlimited access to all the top educators whichever are there. Right? All the top educators access will be there. So you see, these are some of the top educators you have. Mrunal Patel, sir, Sudarshan Gurjar, Roman Saini, Ayush Shangi, etc. These are some of the top educators, Siddharth Arora, Ankit Kumar. And then if you go to the learning app, once you download it, you will find this option UPSC CSE. Once you choose this, you will find all the courses organized in this manner and you can choose whichever you wanted to prepare for. This is the structured one which I am saying. It is always in tune with the syllabus. Then coming to the payment option, the payment option here is, if you see all the options ranging from 1 month to 24 months, all are there. We always suggest you to go for 12 months and 24 months because of two simple reasons. The time taken, which is taken for you to clear this exam, even for a first timer, it is taking 20 to 24 months. So the incubation period, whatever you call, or else to cover the entire vast syllabus of UPSC, it takes time. You cannot expect to clear in 3-4 months. Whoever is saying that I can complete the entire UPSC syllabus in 3 to 4 months is actually joking. Okay, that is not true. So that is the reason why I'm saying it takes some time. So I would suggest you to go for 12 to 24 months, which will help you in proper preparation of the entire syllabus. Then people who are preparing for 22, they can ideally choose 48,000 rupees 2 months course, where they are much more ready. They can complete this preparation entire thing before their graduation, and by the end of their by the age of 23, you can choose your dream. You can become your IAS officer and you can achieve your dream of IAS, IPS and getting into these prestigious services. So people who are at the around, who are in graduation, who are at late graduation, etc., this is the opportunity for you. Please don't miss it. Use this code VE10. You also get 10% discount. So 48,000 will become 43,200 and automatically, etc. You will be having the most privileged opportunity to work as an IAS officer at a very early age. This is the advantage you have once you subscribe to these long-term courses. Please don't miss it. 12 months, 24-month courses, etc. Please choose it. Use this code VE10. This will be another added advantage. You get 10% more discount. That is the thing which I am trying to tell you. The more you prepare well, the more you bleed now, the less. See, there is a saying now. What is that saying? The more you bleed in war, the more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in war. So this is what I am trying to tell you. The more you practice right now, use this opportunity in Unacademy learning platform. Use this learning platform, learn yourself and become an IAS officer at a very quick age. Right? So please don't forget this VE10. Don't miss this chance. You are getting at a very discounted price. You have to use this. Then there is one more big announcement for you. It is one of the good things which Unacademy is trying to start. So even if I have in my old environment classes, I have told you some of the people where I wanted to start a 10-minute course. So all the topics will be discussed in 10 minutes. So you have launched this course, etc., where there is a new channel called UPSC CSE English in 10. So every video will be covered in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. All the top educators will be doing it. All these concepts will be crisp, concise and to the point. It will be help you in easier revision for you. So please subscribe to this channel, UPSC CSE English in 10. Yes, let's crack it. So let's start. I hope all of you doing good. Some of the people have joined right now. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Good evening. Oh, some new names. Uplift India. Right, that's what I'm doing. Uplifting you by making you to prepare for this exam. Yes, good evening, Shrista, Anjali, Sushant, Amin, LS, good evening. Yeah. So we will discuss about the most basic topic today with latitudes and longitudes. And at the end, I will give you some work which you need to do before you come for tomorrow's session. Okay, latitudes and longitudes, such a simple thing. But if you think about these things in detail, if you understand these things very well, the later on topics will be much more easier for you. So let's start. So what are latitudes and longitudes then? Basically, these are simply, we can call them as imaginary lines drawn around the globe. What are these things? Simply imaginary lines drawn around the globe. Then what do you use using latitudes and longitudes? What is the purpose of it? It helps in identifying the locations on the globe. This is the point. To understand the locations on the globe, you need to have some kind of a some kind of a grid system. So that grid system is the latitudes and longitude system, which will provide to help in identifying the locations on the globe. So to understand distribution of geographic features on the earth, a system of accurate information is required. So if I say 20 degrees latitude, if I say 40 degrees latitude, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to provide accurate information of the areas around that places. Okay, so simple points. What are latitudes and longitudes? These are imaginary lines. Yes, this is the most important point. Imaginary lines. You don't find these lines drawn on the world map, drawn on the actual Earth surface, actual Earth, actual globe. You don't find these lines. These are imaginary lines to make you understand the concepts easier. So don't imagine that these lines are actually drawn. Then let's start with latitudes first. So what are latitudes? So all the lines which run east and west parallel to the equator are called as latitudes. If you can see in this picture, you see here all the lines which are drawn from east to west in this manner. If I am drawing all the lines, those lines are called as latitudes. Then another point, etc., which you can remember, latitude is the angular distance of a point on the earth's surface measured in degrees from the center of the earth. So how are you saying that 0 degrees, 1 degrees, 2 degrees and all these things? It is the angular distance of a point on the earth's surface measured in degrees from the center of the earth. So you take 3 points. What do? You take 3 points. So if this is the center of the earth and this is the if this is the point on the earth's surface, so what is the angular distance you are covering with the center of the earth? This will be the latitude. If it is 1 degrees, this will be 1 degrees. If it is 10 degrees, this might be the 10 degrees. If it is 90 degrees north, that means what? The angular distance which is covered from the center of the earth to the point on the earth's surface is what is called as latitude. What is this? It is the angular distance of a point on the earth's surface measured in degrees from the center of the earth. Now is this point clear? What do you mean by angular distance? Why they are taking center of the earth? Is this point clear now? Yes, please mention in the chat section very quickly. Okay, good. Then all parallel circles which are drawn from the equator up to the poles are called as parallels of latitude. So all the parallel circles from the equator up to the poles, we call it as parallels of latitude. Then these latitudes are expressed in not in degrees but also seconds and minutes. These are the next level. So the entire globe is divided, for example, 90 degrees north, 90 degrees south. So it is divided into 90 degrees. Then each degree, it is divided into 60 minutes, each 60 seconds. Each second is once again, later it is divided into minutes, minutes into seconds. So 28 degrees, 38 minutes is the latitude of Delhi. So what you are saying? So if this is one latitude and if this is one latitude, what is the difference between these two latitudes? You have minutes, 60 minutes. And then later on, etc., that might be converted into even into seconds. So this is what. So Delhi's latitude. What is the latitudes of the Delhi? 28 degrees, 38 degrees, 38 minutes. So this point, this is the symbol for here, minutes. Then what are the most important latitudes which you have across the world? What are the most important latitudes which you have? Equator, which represents 0 degrees. The line midway between the poles is called as equator. Then Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degrees 66.5 degrees south. These are the most basic things. If you remember our childhood, they ask you to remember these are the important latitudes. Why? Now can you tell me why Tropic of Cancer is the most important latitude? Please answer this. Can you tell me why Tropic of Cancer is an important latitude? Yes, very quickly. Yes. Acha, it passes through India, so that says it became an important latitude. Kumar, it is definitely it passes through India. It doesn't mean that it is an important latitude. Okay, LS, up to here torrid zone is present. That is also true. But that is not the reason why it is important. No, no, no. Yes, quickly. I will only give one more second, one more minute, half a minute. Please think why 23.5 degrees north latitude is an important latitude. Nishant, sun rays reach here efficiently. You are near but not complete. You are near but it's not complete answer. Good for agriculture. No, 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 no. You are now I am getting strange answers. No. Okay. Now I will stop now. I will tell you. Don't stop chatting now. You have given some of the strange answers. No, no, no. Why 23.5 degrees latitude is an important latitude? You are giving strange answers to me. Okay. The reason why it is important latitude is here because vertical rays of the sun are never seen beyond this point and this point. Vertical rays of the sun are never seen beyond the Tropic of Cancer and beyond the Tropic of Capricorn. So that means if this is equator and this is Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, the vertical regions, okay, this line might be a different one. You can leave this point, but what they are trying to tell you is beyond this 23.5 degrees north and south, that means in this part and this part you will never find vertical rays. That means in the summer part, how do you feel at exactly at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? You have exactly the sun's rays on above our head. The sun's rays above head exactly at 12 o'clock. Because we are in the tropical zone, majority of India, some of the in India is in tropical zone. It is the reason why, because of the vertical rays are finding here at 12 o'clock, you will never find exactly 90 degrees line of vertical rays except between the areas of 23.5 degrees north to 23.5 degrees south. You see the angle which I will try to tell you the angle now. Imagine this is the surface. The sunrise has started. Sun's rays. At morning 6 o'clock etc. you can see the sun's rays coming across. Then slowly at around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock etc. the rays of the sun are falling. This is the point on the earth surface which we are located. Imagine so. So at around 7 o'clock the rays are here. At around 8 o'clock here. 9, 10, then slowly then into 12 o'clock. So exactly at 12 o'clock, if the vertical rays are following, this is where you will find the more heat. 12 o'clock is the line, right? Now, exactly at 12 o'clock, the vertical rays will be exactly above us, overhead our noon. That's why it is called as noon. Okay, 12 o'clock. Why it is called noon? Because the sun's rays exactly above our earth's above our head. Above the head. Now you will not find these places. Now if you are at Moscow, the rays there are slant rays, not vertical. Slant rays, not vertical. So what happens there? The slant rays are here in such a way that now how is our duration from morning 6 o'clock 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning? That itself will be the highest temperature recorded in Moscow. Moscow latitude is much more higher, almost around 60 degrees, more than 60 degrees, that to higher northern latitudes. So here what happens? You will never find this vertical rays, not even 45 degrees you will not find. See 8 a.m. For us, between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., what is the duration of the sunshine? How regions are changing from here to here? How the angled rays are changing? How much heat are we getting? That will be the maximum in Moscow. Are you understanding this point? So from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., how much are you facing? How much transition we are facing? That is the transition which they face from 6 to 12 o'clock. So what is 8 a.m. is 12 o'clock to them. Similarly, what is 10 a.m., 11 a.m. to us is 12 o'clock to London, because London is around 40 degrees, 45 degrees. London is around 45 degrees. What is 11 o'clock, 10:30, 10 o'clock to us? That is 12 o'clock to London. Are you understanding this word? When I say what is 12 o'clock to us is what is 10 o'clock to us is 12 o'clock to London. It means what? At 10 o'clock, what is the angle rays of the sun? If that angle rays, imagine that it is 45 degrees. 45 is the angle rays. That is the angle which they have as a maximum. They will never find 90 degrees vertical rays of the sun. That is the reason why Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are important latitudes. And why these are important? Then, why 23.5 degrees north only? Why not? You see, 0 degrees, 30, 60, 90. This might be easy to remember, na? Why latitudes of 0 degrees, 30, 60, 90 are not important latitudes? Why only 0, 23.5, 66.5? Why not 0, 30, 60, 90, which will be easier to remember? What is the why in this format? Why not in this format? The reason is simple. 23.5 degrees is the tilt of the axis of the earth. Our earth's axis tilts by 23.5. You will never find. You see here in this diagram, where is North Pole? North Pole is here. South Pole is here. We are not drawing in this fashion. Na? For example, if you imagine this is the hemisphere, we are not drawing North Pole in this manner. North Pole is here. So what is the angle this? This angle is 23.5 degrees. Because 23.5 degrees angle is created, the North Pole and South Pole. If you see the globe from the outer surface, the North Pole will be here, South Pole will be same. That means, imagine you are now an astronaut. Okay, you are coming from, say, from Mars to back to India. Okay, that may be the future. Not now. There are no manned missions to Mars yet. But imagine that you are coming from outer space into the Earth's surface. As you see the globe, as you see the Earth's surface far away, you will not find northern pole here, exactly here, and south pole here as you see in the textbooks. You find North Pole exactly in this format. You see, this is the tilt. You will not find the straight line. That straight line north to south, which you find exactly as 90 degrees in our textbooks, it is making to make our visualization easier. They present in that manner. Actually, it is tilt. So how much the earth axis is tilting? 23.5 degrees is the tilt. Have you followed this point now? Clear? Have you followed this point now? Shall I move forward? Shall I move forward? Yes, quickly. Good, good. Yes, LS, Hari, good. Okay, next point. Now, there might be another unique point which I will be telling to you. Not many people know this. Very, very unique point which I am going to tell you right now. This is the most unique thing. Now, why is this 23.5 degrees north is called as Tropic of Cancer? Why it is named so? This is a very tricky question. Why it is named so? Yes, Sridevi, Divya, LS, Hari, Anjali and others. Very tricky question. Why it is named so? Think. Have you ever heard this point? Why it is named so? Did you ask your lecturers and your teachers in your school days of why Tropic of Cancer is named so? Did you ask this question? Why 23.5 degrees north is the most important latitude? Now that you understood that 23.5 degrees north is an important latitude because vertical rays of the sun will not be following beyond this point. So this is the boundary. Northernmost boundary is 23.5. Southernmost boundary is 23.5. Now why they are named so as Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively? No, no, no. The tracer caused to disease. No, Venki. Okay, you are having my name. Very funny. No. The reason is when the in the ancient days, when the geographers are trying to observe this point that 23.5 degrees north and 23.5 degrees south are important latitudes, from this point, if they started observing the space, they are observing that the point here is nearer to the constellation Cancer back then. The Greeks and the Romans, the Greeks and the Greeks and the Romans, when they are observing the space from the latitudes of 23.5 degrees north, they are getting the constellation Cancer here. They are getting the they are observing the constellation Capricorn here. That is the reason why they named this line. This is simply a line, na? This line is called as Tropic of Cancer. Okay, it is simply a line. It is named as Tropic of Cancer. So Tropic of Cancer. Similarly, why it is nearer to the constellation Capricorn, Tropic of Capricorn, it is nearer to Tropic of Cancer. So which places? As you observe from 23.5 degrees north from the Greek areas. Then it is not true now. Now it is not true. Why? Because thousands of years ago when they have observed, they are finding these constellations in this manner. Whereas right now, etc., the constellations are changing. The constellations are quite changing in nature. Why the constellations change? Because we know that universe expands. As the universe expands, etc., the positions might change over a period of time. So presently the position is not exactly at Tropic of Cancer, but in the past it was used to so. That was the reason why it is named so. Okay. So this is a unique point. See, these are just for understanding. Okay. Nobody will say, I will tell you that these points are, they will not ask in a preliminary exam. They will not ask in the preliminary exam. Haribabu, not constitutional. It is constellation. Constellation, group of stars. So you find Cancer constellation, you find Capricorn constellation. So Tropic of Cancer is named so because from there the constellation Cancer is visible to them. Now I will give you a very a very unique task. There is an application by name Skyview. Like that you have so many applications and applications by name Skyview. Open your later on after the sessions, open this app called Skyview. You can observe the stars, their locations from your phones. So go to your Android Play Store or your iOS store, download this application called Skyview. From your phones, you can identify all these constellations. So where are they located? How do they view? You can identify it. So this is just for your visualization. This is best for your visualization. Okay. So please do this point, Skyview. It might be very, very useful for you. Just for understanding, just and to enlarge your thinking, to broaden your perspectives. This might be useful. Okay. Then similarly, Arctic Circle 66.5 degrees north and 66.5 degrees south. Arctic Circle, this is 66.5 north, 66.5 degrees south are the important lines of latitudes. Okay. Then what is the significance of latitudes? What is the significance of latitudes? Because you have identified that latitudes are directly linked with directly linked with sun's rays, and sun's rays are the base for insolation. Based on latitudes, you can divide the entire world into torrid zone, temperate zone, and cold zone. Torrid zone, temperate zone, and cold zone. You see, this is the temperate zone. Why? Temperatures are broadly lesser here. Then torrid zone, temperatures are a bit warm. If you see the variations, how do you find the variations here is hot, hot to warm, warm to cool, cool to cold. Normally with latitudes, as temperature is directly proportional with latitudes, hot regions are usually around the tropical areas because there you find more temperature because of more insolation. Rather, you will discuss the other points later on. There will be more insolation here. From here, this will be warm region, this will be cool region, this will be cold region. So this might be the polar zone or the frigid zone. Or cold region is the polar or the frigid zone. Then cool region will be the regions of this part. You see, the ones which are shaded in red color, this white will be the cool regions. So that means usually the latitudes from 45 degrees to 60 degrees north latitudes is cooler regions. Then 30 degrees to 45 degrees latitudes north, these can be warm temperate region. That means temperature will be warm but will not be hot. Then 0 to 23. So what is called tropical region? The regions which are around 0 to 23 are called as tropical. But 23 to 23.5 degrees and 23.5 degrees to 30 degrees, we can roughly the transition zones, we will call it as subtropical. Why these are? What do you mean by subtropical regions? Subtropical regions are regions from 23.5 degrees north to 23.5 degrees south latitudes. Is this point clear? So tropical region, temperate region, frigid regions, all these things are easier to understand because of this point called latitudes. Because latitudes are having this impact, from here we are able to understand this point. Then one major work for you. There is one major work which I will try to give you. Now, will you identify this point that what are the countries which are located on? Now, just a task for you from tomorrow. Task from tomorrow. Countries on equator. What are the countries which are located on equator? Then what are the countries which are located on Tropic of Cancer? What are the countries which are located on Tropic of Capricorn? Then what are the countries located on equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, countries located on Arctic Circle, countries located on Antarctic Circle? Will you do this point to me? What are the countries? Now what will be the use for it? Sir, what is the use? Why are you asking me to do all these things? Because now you will understand world map better. You will understand world map better. Why? Because if you are trying countries located on equator, means this will be the exact line where you are having north and south. Then if you remember one more point, majority of the countries in the southern hemisphere end at Tropic of Capricorn itself. That means beyond 40 degrees north south latitudes, you don't find much land or much land on the earth's surface itself. Beyond 40 degrees south latitudes, you don't find much land. Why? Majority of the countries like Australia, we have this South Africa. The African continent ends after South Africa. So South Africa, it passed Tropic of Capricorn, passes through South Africa, Australia. That means what? Almost you don't find much beyond South Africa. The entire world is ending there itself. Southern Hemisphere. The Southern Hemisphere is ending at around 30 degrees itself. 40 degrees after that, very rarely you find anything. Everything is ocean only. That's what distribution of land and water is. So when I ask you to countries lying on equator, countries lying on Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, you will get these points. Now, one word. Which country has this unique distinction of where Tropic of Capricorn and the equator both are passing through it? Which country has the unique distinction of Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn and equator both are passing through it? Can you give me a word very quickly? Don't use Google, don't fool me. You have to think on your own. Then only you have to message here. If you are trying to identify it from Google and trying to give, one day I might tell you yes, but that is a very, very bad mentality. Okay, please quickly. Which country has the distinction of where Tropic of Capricorn and equator both passes through it? Yes. Brazil. Brazil. See, not Cancer, Hari, not cancel. I'm not talking about Tropic of Cancer. And Tropic of Cancer also doesn't passes through Canada. Now Canada is much more north. Okay, answer is Brazil. Brazil has the distinction of where equator is also passing through it. That is the reason why you have Amazon forest. And you also have Tropic of Capricorn, which also passes through in the south side of it. So answer is Brazil. Yes. So this is the word. Now, some of you are saying that you don't know this word. Why are you not knowing it? Because you don't know about maps better. You did not plan about preparation of maps better. That is the reason why it is happening. So what you do? Simple task. Every one of you, what you do? Countries lying on equator. Post it in my comment section. Before I start tomorrow's session, I will check all the comment sections which you have identified, not in the live chat. Okay, a homework for you. All these things, entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these things you have to identify the countries which are located at and post it in the, not in the live chat, but post it in the comment section. Do this task. Use your knowledge. Use this task. After this, what happens? Because of which, etc. Once you use this, all this, and you post in the comments, after that, you will never forget this task. You will understand the world map much better. You will understand that where Africa ends, where India starts, where is Canada with relation to India, where is Canada in relation to Africa, where is India in relation to Africa, where is India in relation to Australia, what are their latitudes, positions. You will understand the things much better. So this is the task. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The task is, what are all the countries which are located on it? Everyone has to post it in the chat section. I will definitely watch which students are posting it, which students are not posting it. Tomorrow I will be watching it. If you are doing it, I will appreciate it. If you don't do it, I will be disappointed. Nothing more than that. What can I do? This is an online class. I can sit here, I can tell you, I will request you. Other than that, what can I do? I will be disappointed. So my student, I expect them to identify all the countries which are located on these important latitudes. Okay. Now, did you get the significance? Significance of latitudes. What is the significance of latitudes? They divide the entire latitude, the world, into zones of temperature called torrid or tropical zone, temperate zone or frigid zone. This is the significance of latitudes. What is the significance of latitudes? Latitudes signifies about the temperatures. Okay. Next. Now another most task you see here. Which are the states which pass across Tropic of Cancer in India? You can understand this diagram. What are the states? Gujarat, Rajasthan. Not many people know that Rajasthan is having Tropic of Cancer passes through it. Why? You see very narrow region. Then Madhya Pradesh, then Chhattisgarh, Odisha, sorry, Jharkhand, West Bengal, then Bangladesh. Then identify the states. This is India only. Now you'll see how much you know about India. I will understand it now. Identify the states. This is 1 and this is 2. Name the states. What is the state of 1? Yes, very quickly. What is the state of 1? What is the which state is 2? Yes, Tripura, Mizoram. Exactly. Good. Right. So Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura, Mizoram. Good. So you have to see Northeast India. So many of you will are confusing. That is the reason why that will be the most thing where UPSC also frames questions about. UPSC also frames questions about this part, which is the most what do you say? Most confusing. Then another task: which cities are nearer to it? Which cities are nearer to it? Oh, people from Jharkhand have also joined. Good. Okay. So this is the task I have given you. Now you have to mention in the chat section all these things tomorrow. And in this 10-minute video, which there is a new channel which is created na Unacademy. I told you in the first in the first few minutes, I did discuss about this channel. A new channel which Unacademy starts, UPSC CSE English in 10 minutes. So every video will be covered in 10 minutes. I will launch some kind of this map based questions, this map based facts, tidbits, everything I will cover here. So what are the countries which are located on equator? I will show it in this later on. As of now, you have to identify all these things on your own and post it to my post in the comment section before I start this session tomorrow. Okay, I will be definitely watching people who have commenting it and people who are not commenting it, because that is a homework for you. Okay, then we will move to the longitudes. Longitudes, simply lines running north and south passing through the poles, are called as longitudes. These lines are meridians, not parallel to one another lines of latitudes. So they are not parallel to one another lines of latitudes. In fact, they meet. So longitudes, they meet, not like latitudes. So how? If this is the globe, if this is the partial globe, if you are drawing about 0 degrees longitude, sorry for the diagram. So it will be very difficult to draw it in online for me. So this is the longitude 0 degrees, 10 degrees. So everything, sorry, once again. So 10 degrees, 20, 30, everything will be passing through it. So all the longitudes meet exactly at North Pole, and the poles they will be meeting it. So they are not parallel to each other like latitudes. They are meridians which are not parallel. So which lines are not parallel to it? Which lines are not parallel to it? Latitudes are parallel to each other, whereas longitudes are not parallel to each other. For latitudes, equator is the baseline, but for longitudes, for many days, there is no such baseline initially. Later on, in 1880s, the Royal Astronomical Observatory at Greenwich near London has regarded as the line which passes through this prime meridian as the most important longitude, which will be acting as a baseline. So from which all other meridians radiate either eastwards or westwards up to 180 degrees line. You see, this is the longitude line which you find at Greenwich in London. At the Royal Astronomical Observatory at Greenwich, you will find this 0 degrees longitude passes through it. So this is western side, this is eastern side. You see, they have identified some of the capitals here: Jerusalem, Cairo, Tehran. So some of the capitals, and what are their longitude position. This is the eastern side. That means this is from London towards India and then into Japan. So London to India and then into Japan. So just for understanding, eastern side, and this is towards the western side, towards the continents of America, North America and South America. And then next point, etc. Longitudes. What is the significance of longitudes? They determine our local time. You will get the local time only based on longitudes. You will never get it on latitudes. So what is the local time of us? So example, if today, as of now, the time is almost around 8 p.m. What is the time at the same time in London? How do you identify it? It is all based on standard times. There is something called IST, Indian Standard Time. So longitudes determine the local time, which is based on Indian Standard Time for India. Similarly, around the world, we have something called Greenwich Mean Time. Greenwich Mean Time is still widely used as the standard time against which all the other time zones in the world are referenced. So from here, you will be identifying all other things. GMT is still widely used as a standard time from which all other time zones are referred for. So why did India choose 82 degrees 0.5 degrees as the most important Indian standard time? This is the differentiation factor, because this is our longitudes positions which spread across from here to here, which is so much of vast. We have identified the in between line. This meridian, the standard meridian of 82.5 degrees east longitude, 82.5 degrees east longitude, is the important longitude based on which Indian standard time is measured. Now, which states are passing through this? Can you identify? UP, and here M, Madhya Pradesh. You see the line, the longitudinal line. So from north to south, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. These are the states which are identifying. So back then, one of my student, so what he has identified is, in 2015 there was a very popular word, Mauka. Okay, India-Pakistan match, cricket match, World Cup, as Pakistan could not win even once until now in the World Cup cricket match. They have identified that Mauka, this is a chance for them, something like that. So from there he has identified this word that, sir, these are the states which pass where Indian Standard Time passes through. So this is a trick which you can remember. Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh. 5 states which pass through. They might ask you this bit, which of the following states passes through where Indian Standard Time passes through? You might not remember that. You might assume that Tamil Nadu might pass through, or you might assume that Jharkhand might pass through, or you might assume that Nagpur might pass through it, Maharashtra might pass through it. No, this is the point. So these are the 5 states which passes through Indian Standard Time. Then what is the standard? How do you calculate this? 82.5 degrees east longitude is the base for calculating Indian Standard Time. It is 5.5 hours time minute ahead of GMT. The distance between two longitudes is 4 minutes. See, how do you calculate the time zones? You see the green zone, 0 degree meridian. Yes, here, if you see this green zone, 0 degree meridian. So from here I will be trying to explain to you. This is the 0 degree longitude somewhere here. Where is London? So somewhere here you will be finding London here, right? If you imagine this is a 0 degree longitude and India is here. So if this is 0 and this is the 180 degrees line, the longitudes are 180 towards west and 180 towards west. For every, as you move from 0 degrees longitude to 82.5, you are actually crossing the time zones. You are actually crossing 4 minutes per longitude. Remember this word, 4 minutes per longitude. How do you get 4 minutes per longitude? Just simple things. How many minutes you have? How many hours you have? Calculate this with the longitudes. You will get this point. You see, Earth completes 360 degrees in 24 hours. If the Earth completes 360 degrees in 24 hours, so in 1 degree, how much it covers? It covers 4 minutes. Why? Divide by 4, 24. 360 by 24, you will get this point. So in 1 degree, that means what? As you are moving the longitudes in this fashion from here to here, you are actually changing the time by 4 minutes. So longitudes represent what? Longitudes are an important indicator for time zones of the world. Then if you see the map here, India's map, the time difference between a place called Dwarka, so Gujarat, the time difference between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh, there is how much variation? Almost 2 hours. The time difference is almost 2 hours variations. The sun rising time in Arunachal Pradesh will be around 4:30, 4 o'clock, whereas here it will be at around 7 o'clock. Why? Because there is a variation. So it is almost 2 hours. How do you calculating this 2 hours? Simple point. The Earth's India's longitude position cuts across from 68 to 97. So 68 degrees east to 97. So almost around 30. 30 into 2. 30 into 4. So almost 4 hours is the variation, etc. So 30 into 4 minutes. 4 threes are 120. 120 minutes is the variation. 120 minutes means 2 hours. So there is a 2 hours variation between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh. So this is the time zone. Now, do you think India needs, think about, do you think India needs multiple time zones? Do you think India needs multiple time zones? Yes, Murli, you are correct. 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes. So if you have a multiple time zone, one of the proposal which they meant is at least try to have something like a northeastern time zone. Why? Because this zone is completely separated from India. or it is much more vaster here. There is a proposal of making somewhere around 90 degrees line as some kind of a another identification point for calculating the time of Northeast India, because the time in Northeast India and the time in major part of India, the mainland, we cannot call this as mainland and this is as a other land, but roughly when you are identifying it etc. from a map, this is more tilted towards eastern side. You also need, so there is a proposal that why can't we have a separate time zone for it. So there is always the topic about is there is something like called what T time zone in Assam. T time zone. What do you call it as? Bargain time, right? Bargain time. Yes. Chaubagan. Yes, correct. Sridevi, 1 degree, that is nice. Not 6 minutes here. 1 degree, 4 minutes. 1 degree, 4 minutes. So, the simple point which you need to remember, all the states, all the countries, whichever are having larger east-west extension, any country which extends more from east to west, that will be having more time zones. That will be having more time zones. You see America, the difference between Atlantic and Pacific, that is quite huge. Then similarly, if you take Russia, the difference between somewhere in, if you take Russia, this is Leningrad, St. Petersburg somewhere here, and somewhere here, this point, red color points, 2 points, Vladivostok, this is also Russia, or rather, sorry, this is the red color point which I wanted to identify. So if you wanted to identify these 2 points, this is point A and this is point B. These 2 points, the Russia, the extension of longitude is quite vast. That's why it has so many time zones. So when it is 10 p.m. on a Monday night in Lenin here, when it is 10 p.m., it is actually 7 a.m. It is actually 7 a.m. here of the next day morning. So when the previous day is running here it is morning Tuesday 7 a.m. here. So Russia here Tuesday 7 a.m. That is the extension you have. So there is so much amount of time zones. But this is, so what is the logic here? The logic says that the more the east-west extension, the better the time zones, the more the time zones will be. But one of the uniqueness you have is France has more time zones than not Russia. Why? Because France, as part of their expansion, they have small territories cuts across Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. What is this? France, a small country, though majorly which you see in the European part, France country, but it has some of its territories which cuts across all the small islands cutting across Pacific, Indian and Atlantic Ocean, because of which it has more points. Okay, so Russia, Canada, USA, all these things might have more time zones, but France has more practically time zones. So France concept is nothing to do with our concept, because though it is majorly found in Europe, its territories are cutting across other parts. Whereas a Russia, where there is a continuous expansion from east to west, usually tend to have more time zones. Yes, some doubts are raised. Sridevi, now did you get this point? 360 degrees by 24. If you divide it, how much are you getting? Then divide that by 60 minutes. You will get around 4 minutes. You will get around 4 minutes. Right. Now, what is the significance of this international date line? Now, for calculating time, what is the significance of longitudes now that you have understood? Longitudes indicate longitudes are help in calculation of time. So what is this? Longitude significance is helping your calculation of standard times across the world. That is the significance. So for every distance between two longitudes is around 4 minutes. This is the significance which you need to remember. Then one of the concept you have across the world is a date line. A line where you are moving from here to here. You are actually crossing a day. So there is one kind of a trivia here. So people who wanted to celebrate their birthday for 2 days, what you can do? You can celebrate your birthday in Japan or in Australia, for example Sydney, celebrate there. After celebration etc. in the morning celebrate there and board a flight at afternoon. So today if your birthday, tomorrow is your birthday. So celebrate in Australia. Then after at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you catch a flight, go to California, San Francisco, and there you celebrate your another birthday. So as you are moving, that day will be in the another, it will be cut, it is on the other day itself. So as you move across, you can celebrate your birthday for more hours. That is one variety. Or if you are exactly on the line passing through this here, you are actually at two different places at the same time. This is another trivia. Why? Because you are two different places at the same time. The time is different. There will be so much amount of variations. Anyhow, forget this trivia. Come to our basic logic. So there is an international date line which is called 180 degrees date line. 180 degrees east or west longitude is called as international date line. Remember, this is not a straight line. Why this is not a straight line? Because this date line functions as a line of demarcation separating two consecutive calendar days. Separating two consecutive calendar days. Then, if you remember, then ancient traveler Magellan, when he has traveled across the world, as he is moving from Atlantic Ocean to Pacific and then reaching his home in Spain in 1522, you see, what did he do? Magellan, he traveled from Atlantic Ocean to Pacific. So Magellan from Spain. So where is Spain? Somewhere here. This is the point in Spain. So from here, he traveled across Atlantic, then into the Pacific, and then he came across these areas, traveled all this path, and then straight away from here, from crossing through Cape of Good Hope and all these things, finally he reached back his home in 1522. So while sunrise and sunsets, he calculated all the days of sunrise and sunsets as he is moving across, he has observed. But the moment he came back, he identified that the date which is came and the date which is actually running in Spain, they are different. Why? Because he could not add a day. So Magellan, he had this kind of a trouble then. He could not add a day. Why? He traveled from Atlantic to Pacific. As he has crossed the international date line, he could not add a day. You see here this point. As you are moving from Japan to America, if you are moving from Japan to America, what you actually do? You are actually gaining a day. On the opposite, if you are moving from America to Japan, you are losing a day. Why? Because there is a time difference. Please remember this point. Japan to America gaining a day, America to Japan losing a day. Why do you lose? Because of the significance. Similarly, if you are moving to, this is Mumbai and this is Dubai, and already what is the standard times? See, if India, if today, if this is around 8 o'clock here, what is the time in Dubai? It will be ahead than us. Is it they're ahead or behind us? They're already behind us. Why are they behind? Because after India sees the sunrise, then Dubai will see the sunrise. Right? So Dubai are delays. But if you are traveling by flight, by the time you reaches etc., what actually you get is you gain time. Whereas If you are coming from Dubai to Hyderabad or Dubai to Mumbai, as you are coming from Dubai to Mumbai, what happens? Dubai is behind us and you are crossing it across it. Now what happens? The time duration will be much more longer. So what I am trying to tell you is, tentatively try to book a ticket from Dubai, from your place, from your city. For example, Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, Delhi, all these places, etc. From here, try to book a ticket to Dubai and try to also to get a book a return ticket. You see the time zones which they provide as per GMT. You will understand what I'm trying to tell you. So gaining a day, losing a day. You will get this point very much clear. Will you do this task? Yes, will you do this task? So remember this point. When do you gain? When do you lose? When do you gain and when do you lose, etc. Please remember this task. So you gain a day at certain time, you lose a day at a certain time. So you gain a day when you are, just a minute. So as you are moving in this fashion, usually you gain. If you are moving in this fashion, you lose. So moving towards east, you gain. Moving towards west, you lose. This is the simple logic you need to remember. That's why India. This is 0 degrees longitude. This is India. India is plus 5.30 GMT. Whereas America is minus. America is minus. So eastward gain, westward lose. These are the points which you need to remember. So there's small homework for you at small line. 82.5 degrees longitude east passes through which cities? Please answer in the chat section for this question. Answer in the, not in the chat section, comment section, sorry. Please answer in the comment section. Tomorrow I will give the answer. I will upload the answer tomorrow. Please answer. Every day I will try to post some questions like this and you will be trying to remember this. Am I clear? Okay. Not in the chat section here. Please answer in the comment section. So 2 words for you, 2 homeworks. Answer this question and also countries lying on equator, countries lying on Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn. All these things you have to do. Okay, don't answer here. And please like my video if you do like. Comment on it so that it acts as a review for others. And share to as many of your friends so that they will be trying to remember them. Then another more point. Please hit the bell icon for notification and subscribe. And for in Unacademy app, please don't forget to use this code VE10, wherein which you will get around 10% discount. You will get around 10% discount, etc. Okay, please use this code VE10, where which you will get 10% discount in the Unacademy subscription. Don't forget this point. Another more point. So in the Unacademy special classes, which are free for you, on my profile page Venkatesh Emani, you can identify some new classes, current affairs, weekly current affairs on economy. You will be getting this. Current affairs weekly on economy basis, you will be getting it sooner. Please do watch for this also. Okay. Thank you very much. I hope I have helped you to remember. I hope you have understood this point, all these points very well. We will see you tomorrow. We will continue the sessions tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Good night to all of you. I will see you tomorrow again.